So I went through the numbers with department heads and went over the numbers that I've updated through the 9th of this month, and I feel confident in projected numbers going forward. And with the budget amounts as well for 2014, the council has laid their eyes on these quite a few times. The citizens had their chance to speak, so I believe we're ready to, as long as you are, to move forward with the 2014 budget. Is there any questions?
I know we talked at the workshop about park board. Can you kind of give us a rundown of what's been changed or reallocated for the park budget?
I listened to what the council directed, and there was 2%, took 2% of staff, of the public works staff time, as well as adding $5,000 for professional services regarding, I think it was the plans for a new park or something to that effect. Centennial Park.
Volunteer park.
Yeah. We added those, correct. That's where we're at right now.
And remind me what 2% worked out to be, because it was what, 0.75 or 1?
Yeah, it was about, I think it came out to be about, you mean hours-wise?
No, I'm just thinking
dollars. I'm thinking about 3,000 to 5,000, somewhere in that area. It's not so easy to point out because there's this huge spreadsheet I have that draws the numbers, but I can hammer that out for you so I can get it to you, but it's about that.
And we were planning on maintenance work.
Yes.
Well, and speaking of maintenance worker 1, I noticed on the FTEs it's not separated out in maintenance worker 1 and in maintenance worker 2, and we don't have an FTE for the community services director, and I'd like to see those amended where that is in there on the FTE post.
So you're saying,
So it says 0 for community services director.
so you want it approved?
I want it approved. Doesn't mean I have to fill it right now. I just want it approved. And then also for the maintenance worker 1, and it's not even on there.
We got utility worker.
Right, and we have a maintenance worker 1 and a maintenance worker 2.
And we've got
Right now we have 4.
maintenance worker 2s. What would be a 2? We want 1 approved as a maintenance worker 1.
Right.
Right.
And then we have a lead on here. Right? Yes, except for the top.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
Okay.
Well, so the first one you said was the community services director?
Right, it has a 0 FTE, that is 1.
Okay.
But when we make a change in the future, if we do that, we're able to do that.
Gotcha.
Each of those changes, I'm assuming that the underlying budget numbers already have those changes incorporated in them, just they forgot to get changed up in FTE schedule? Or does that actually change, particularly with the community service structure, does that change the amount of budget for expenditures?
Right now, we don't have budgeted a community service director, so that would change that. And then as far as the maintenance worker 1, I think that'll actually reduce what we have in the budget right now. So we don't really know. I mean, I kind of have an idea what that is, but I wanted to err on the high side.
And then while we're on the subject, I don't want to speak again, but I think that the amendment to the 2013 budget, when we get to that, can help the things change. I didn't see that. Don't we have the 1 and 2?
Not this year.
We haven't hired that position at all.
In the second to worry about it. But dollars, it's just a matter of where we go.
Right. We're not prepared for the...
Not for the second this year.
Thank you.
Any other questions from council? Yes, Member Walker.
Are there any public safety modifications based on the committee meeting we had last week?
Actually, what I've done is I've put a pool in place. What I wanted to do, and I think I like this, was have an itemized list of everything that was going to be purchased in 2014. I mean, as far as capital or fixed assets to that extent, you know. And I think what happened at the end, because we have everything in the police the computers were gonna be upgraded, and we talked about, did you ask me, do we have the funds in there if we wanted to do this and that? So with the associated transfers that have already been set up, there's a pool where I believe you could, that those purchases could be made, but they will have to come before council since they haven't been itemized, like we do not do in the past.
So when we get to the firearms that we discussed, I just want to make sure that there's budget already assigned, or there's money allocated for it, even if we decide not to move forward tonight, we don't have to do a budget amendment out of the gate in January.
Right, no, you don't, no.
Thank you.
Any other questions from council? Councilmember Beckman? Is there a motion to be made?
I move to accept this as the second reading of ordinance number 2013-1850, and to adopt the annual budget by fund for the year 2014, and setting forth the estimated revenues and appropriations. Second. Had an opportunity to review this, we've made several tweaks to it, and I think we've got a good solid plan in place for 2014, so let's move forward and get started spending it.
Councilmember Tubman?
I'd just like to say it's actually a pleasant surprise that we are this far along. I feel like it's kind of late in the year to be this far along, but where we started on the budget process, it is good to have such a detailed and complete budget.
Any other comments from council? Councilmember McMahon?
Does it take a motion to amend the salary and FTE schedule?
Yeah.
That'll be, we can do that now, or we can just do it when we do the first budget amendment of the year. It's up to you.
I'd like to move to amend the 2014 salary and authorized FTE schedule that is attachment A to ordinance 13-1850 to change the community services director from a 0 FTE to a 1.0, and to separate out the utility worker into a maintenance worker 1 with one FTE.
Oh, one is the one, and then
And a
the other
maintenance
is
worker 2 with 4 FTEs.
Second.
Would you like to speak to the amendment?
Just simple oversight, and good correction.
Councilmember Walker? Any other discussion on the amendment from council? Councilmember Tweeks?
This is all new to me and hard for me to digest in such a short period of time, being in office for 1 week, so I would like to abstain from voting on the budget.
Okay. Any other comments on the amendment? Any comments from the audience on the amendment? On the amendment? Okay. All those in favor of the amendment as James stated?
I wonder what I did.
So, for the 1 FTE for the community services director and the tax salary, as well as the amendment for the maintenance worker 1 FTE, and maintenance worker 2 FTE.
And also, just to be clear, Ken, tell me if I did this right, for the maintenance worker, breaking those out, that my motion includes appending the appropriate salary range for each of those. That's good, yeah?
Yes.
All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Opposed? Now, going back to the budget, Councilmember Wilkie?
I'd also like to make, I move to amend the FTE schedule for the police department to include full-time traffic officers.
Do I not hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Councilmember Wilkie, let's speak to the amendment.
I believe that Kelly has provided us with a forma that will show that traffic enforcement officer brings in sufficient revenue to justify that position. But the primary thing is the safety in the community. And we've had
Councilmember Steiger.
Guess that came up at our public safety meeting. Rich was going to do some research on some dollar figures and stuff. Did you get that figure done?
No, I probably won't get that done until January. At this late of day in the date, and I don't have the information yet from the chief. So as soon as I get some information from him, I can do some research into that. But right now, I don't see that happening until probably the first week of January.
Do you have enough information for us to be adopting that tonight to add it to the money?
I don't.
Councilmember Lopez.
I remember the discussion basically being just based on if the insurance situation changes, because that's where a lot of that money's gonna come from, theoretically, to pay for another officer up front. So I think it's premature to modify the salary schedule at this time, in my personal opinion. I'm all for the adding the FTE and moving forward, but I think it's premature at this time.
Any other Councilmember McMahon?
Yeah, I guess I'm not up to speed on the conversation about the timing, but if the city moves forward with that, I'd like to see just adding an additional police officer and allow John to designate somebody from time to time to do that function, rather than us at the council level establishing a separate job, position, title, and description solely for traffic enforcement, because that ties the department's hands in being able to manage personnel, and so all those notes for that reason.
That's the intent of the motion.
Other comments from Councilmember Steve?
Have we looked into the federal grant process to help pay for that position?
We haven't had the opportunity to investigate this. I was not ready for that to be on the agenda or to be considered within the
I know that, there's some grants out there that'll help pay for that position for, I think, 3 years, and then we have, fully funded after that period, and I think we should look into federal grant to help fund that.
Councilmember Putnam. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Councilmember Putnam.
I'd also like to see us look into this, along with other potential traffic enforcement improvements, such as we previously discussed, camera for the school zone, things like that, that might provide additional revenue to fund a traffic position, as well as providing more rigorous enforcement in areas that have just ongoing problems, such as school zones.
Any other comments? Comments from the audience? So on the amendment to add another FTE to the police department, an FTE or not?
Police department.
To add one more FTE. We'll do a roll call. Roll call.
Can we have the motion restated, because
Thank you.
I heard it was one FTE for traffic
That
enforcement.
was the amendment.
Yes, the intent was one more FTE primarily to be used to put traffic enforcement back on.
So FTE for traffic enforcement.
For FTE for the police department to, so that we go back to our traffic.
That's got to be translated somehow into it. I guess I'm not clear on how you'd like this to read on your motion. I took it to mean we would add an additional position within the existing list of traffic enforcement officer with 1.0 FTE. Now I'm hearing something different.
Okay. I'd like to see one more officer so that we can go back to our traffic enforcement.
So it's a traffic enforcement officer.
So if I may, it sounds like the motion would be to increase the police officer line from 6 to 7, and the intent of that would be to help start the traffic program again,
Correct.
is what I'm
So that's the amendment. Councilmember McMahon?
Can I ask the city attorney to help us do that?
And I think what the intent was, probably for the record, he should withdraw his motion in the second. And the motion should read that the FTE for the police department be increased to 7, period. And that way it eliminates any question as to the purpose and use of the person. And then the recommendation of the council to the police department is that they consider emphasizing those areas the council's interested in, but not put that in the motion itself. So that we're just increasing it by one person to be used as the police department sees fit, with the hope it will be used in those areas.
Second,
Oh, probably second.
and I restate the motion.
The motion would read that the FTE in the police department set forth in the budget be increased by 1 to number 7.
So you're seconding this.
I'll second it, yeah, just to bring it to the vote.
Any other comments from council? Councilmember Jones?
My concern right now is that we do not have the budget in this 2014 right now to account for that. That's the seventh head. I would really like to hold off until we know what our insurance issue is, because I do believe that was where some of that money, from what I'm listening to conversations, is going to come from. So, other than, I have no problem with putting the FTE in, but there's no budget, so can we do both? I mean, put an FTE but no budget for it?
Increase the FTE and budget allowed.
You know,
Councilmember
Are
McMahon?
you comfortable with that? With the authorized FTE, and then you can find the money, you've got the, you can't find the money, it's vacant?
I personally would be more comfortable if we did a budget amendment later on, when after we were able to investigate it and really identify where the funds are coming from and how the city could affect it. Personally, that's how I feel about it. Councilmember Page?
I guess I got a question, why can't we do any traffic enforcement now? I mean, if we got 6 police officers, why can't some of the time be dedicated to do that?
It's a very good question, Councilmember Page. Councilmember Putnam?
Just a thought on the grant process. Typically, grants are for increasing your FTE count, and I think it might look better for granting if we say we will increase the FTE count if we receive the grant, rather than saying, hey, we've got this vacant position already and we just want money for it. But it might look better for granting if we explicitly increase the FTE conditional upon the grant when we know about the grant.
Councilmember Slager?
I believe what we need to do is get more of our financial figures in line. Rich was going to come back with some information after our public safety meeting and whatever. Obviously, he has not had a chance to get that information to me. So at this point right now, I would be voting no. I understand what Gary's concern is, but I'd just like to get our ducks more in a row.
I'll withdraw my motion and we'll bring it back later on.
I'll withdraw my second.
So that amendment has been withdrawn. Back to the original then, after all that, adopting the 2014 budget as amended. Is there a motion? Did anybody make a motion on that?
I made a motion, second, amendment.
So after all the amendments, any more discussion then on adopting the 2014 budget? I'm all confused. Any comments from the audience on adopting the 2014 budget as amended? Seeing none, we'll call the council, please.
Councilmember Putnam?
Aye.
Councilmember Steiger?
Aye.
Councilmember Walker?
Aye.
Councilmember King is abstaining. Councilmember Holden?
Aye.
Councilmember Jones?
Aye.
Councilmember McMahon?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda